Hey yo everyone! Nintendo and Bowser have a long history of beef, but a recent court case has elevated this rivalry to a whole new level. In September of 2020, Bowser, no, not that Bowser, or that Bowser either, Gary Bowser, a Canadian hacker extraordinaire, was sentenced to 40 months of imprisonment after losing a major court case against one of gaming's most historic and legendary companies, Nintendo. To add insult to injury, Bowser will likely spend the rest of his life paying restitution to Nintendo as he owes the company a whopping $14.5 million. So today, let's talk about this crazy case and how one man ended up the face of anti-piracy in video games. As always, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'm trying to get us to 1,000 subs this year. Alright, let's get it. Alrighty, so let's talk about Gary Bowser, yeah? Bowser spent his entire life around computers and electronics. Growing up, his father was a mechanical engineer and taught him a lot about the ins and outs of modern gizmos and gadgets. He had an innate ability to tinker, and by the time he was a teenager, Bowser had started up his own computer business that eventually evolved into an internet cafe where he would repair hardware for a living. He did this for a while and made some decent cash, but soon began taking his skills on the road and fixing up beat-up gaming consoles at local flea markets. This was Gary's first run-in with the law, as the flea markets where he would work at also happened to be a home to pirated movie vendors. Thankfully for him, he wasn't charged with anything because he wasn't working with the pirates. With that being said, those guys must have made an impression on him because, just like other legendary pirates, Bowser decided to move to the Caribbean in 2010 where he would live for a decade in the Dominican Republic. During his time abroad, Bowser got into contact with a hacker group named Team Executor. Team Executor was basically this ragtag team of hackers and console enthusiasts who routinely pushed the boundaries of emulation and open source coding. They specialized in jailbreaking consoles, specifically PlayStations, Xboxes, and a variety of different Nintendo products, including the Nintendo Switch. While emulation is a bit of a tricky topic and we've already talked about it ad nauseum on this channel, it is an incredibly popular way to play older games, especially since so many older titles are locked away behind discontinued hardware. Team Executor took advantage of this demand by selling, keyword here is selling, hacking tools that would allow people to jailbreak their consoles and pirate games, bypassing the manufacturers, such as Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft's, original intended use for their systems and their games. Unlike other groups that just post this stuff online for free in the name of video game preservation and non-profit emulation, Team Executor was charging people for their stuff, which meant they were selling illegal copies of video games to make a pretty decent chunk of change. It's alleged that Team Executor cost Nintendo more than $65 million over the course of a decade, which does make sense because their games freaking never go on sale. Why is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still $60 in the year 2025? Now, Team Executor knew what they were doing was highly illegal. To remedy this, they would hide their business by spreading their products out, distributing them through countless different websites, brands, and media channels. They had members all across the world, which eventually led them to realize that they were becoming too big to be this disorganized. And this is where Bowser comes into play. Gary Bowser got looped into the group as this sort of middleman. He was essentially the group's advertising and PR person, the guy people would contact if they needed to get a hold of Team Executor. Bowser had excellent people skills, so the group recruited him as their unofficial spokesperson. This went on for years before Nintendo and the FBI, yes, the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, caught up to him and Team Executor. In September of 2020, Gary Bowser woke up at around 4 in the morning to 3 strangers in his bedroom pointing rifles at his head. He was dragged out of his home and thrown into the back of a pickup truck, which promptly took him to the Dominican Republic's Interpol office. From here, he was transported back into the United States and appeared at a federal court in New Jersey, where he was charged with 11 felony counts, including conspiracy to commit wire fraud, conspiracy to circumvent technological measures and to traffic in circumvention devices, trafficking in circumvention devices, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. Long story short, Gary was in big trouble here. In a statement from the United States Attorney's Office, which I'll be sure to link below with some other great sources, Bowser was accused of being one of the leaders of Team Executor. Gary Bowser from the Dominican Republic, Max Luarn from France, and Yuaning Chen from China were all hit with these federal charges. The statement reads that these defendants lined their pockets by stealing and selling the intellectual property of other video game developers, even going so far as to make customers pay a licensing fee to play stolen games. This conduct doesn't just harm billion-dollar companies, it hijacks the hard work of individuals working to advance in the video game industry. These arrests show that the department will hold accountable hackers who seek to commandeer and exploit the intellectual property of American companies for financial gain, no matter where they may be located. Well, that last part is a bit of a lie. Bowser was caught and brought into the United States for trial, but Max Luarn was never arrested as he is a French citizen, and fun fact, French law does not allow its citizens to be extradited to foreign countries. So Luarn got away essentially scot-free, and Chen, the other hacker from China who was charged, never got caught, so he's still doing whatever he's been doing out there. That left poor old Bowser as the sole member of Team Executor to be hit with these charges. In October of 2021, Bowser pled guilty to conspiracy to circumvent technological measures and trafficking in circumvention devices, having to pay a $4.5 million penalty. His other 9 charges were dropped upon the agreement that Bowser would continue to work with authorities to investigate Team Executor further. While the United States government was satisfied with their punishment for Bowser, Nintendo was just getting started. Ajay Singh, Nintendo's lawyer for the case, said that it's the purchase of video games that sustains Nintendo, and it is the games that make the people smile. It's for that reason that we do all that we can to prevent games on Nintendo systems from being stolen. Nintendo ended up winning the case, and Bowser was ordered to pay an additional $10 million to Nintendo for the civil suit. On top of that, he was sentenced to serve 40 months in prison. This article from The Guardian says that media pirates are usually just fined in court, but Gary Bowser was meant to be made into an example, sending a warning to hackers across the globe. Singh says that the sentence was like a message to other people that are still out there, that if they get caught, they'll serve hard time. Even in the case of poor old Gary Bowser here, the guy who was just there updating the website, sending out newsletters, and answering emails. So whatever happened to Gary Bowser? After serving 14 months in prison, Bowser was released for good behavior and sent home to Canada. However, he still owes Nintendo millions of dollars and has been forced to pay the company every month. As per his early release agreement, Bowser will send 20 to 30% of his monthly income to Nintendo after paying his necessities, such as rent. Since getting released, Bowser has been bouncing between jobs, but nothing real stable has come to fruition, as anytime a company runs a background check on him, they'll find his colorful past. So for now, he provides tech services to clients and continues to work with retro hardware. Just the old stuff though, since, he's not legally allowed to tinker with modern systems anymore. On the bright side, Gary Bowser seems to be remaining pretty positive about all of this, saying that it could be a lot worse. I feel for you, Gary. Yes, you technically were robbing video game studios and profiting off their developers' hard work, but I also can't blame a guy for trying to make a quick buck at the expense of a billion-dollar company. So, that's the tale of Gary Bowser, a man whose legacy has been transformed into a cautionary tale about the real-life consequences of video game pirating. Who knew the company behind gaming's most popular mascot could be so harsh? Just kidding. Everyone knows Nintendo has their panties always tied up in a knot. But nonetheless, I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this story? Did you know that Nintendo sued Bowser's ass and sent him to prison? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more stuff like this about the video game industry, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It means a lot. I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll catch you in the next one.